Hey folks, most of you have seen the Robinsonia this morning, and you understand pretty much what's going on. Ronnie Patterson and John McNeil, they're going to have to answer to the SBI as to why that personnel file was moved from town hall and placed in a storage locker that Ronnie Patterson was paying the rent on. He forgot to pay the rent. That's how the file was recovered. And it was sold at public auction. The storage locker was, storage room, whatever you want to call it, but that's what it is. But folks, what I want to hit on here is last year at Raymond Cummings' house, in attendance at Raymond Cummings' house was John McNeil, Tiffany Powers, Ronnie Patterson, Matt Scott, and several others. Mike Smith on the school board was there, Louis T. DeFries, Jerry Stevenson, Burlester Campbell. All these folks, I think Linda Emanuel might have been there or was privy to it, not sure. Brenda Fairley, she was there. All these folks were over at Raymond Cummings' house for a secret meeting. This subject of this sexual harassment came up in that meeting. If you go back a few months ago, I told you about it. If you go back to some of my videos, you can find where I told you about it. That in this meeting, they said that it came up, the question came up, and John McNeil himself told everybody in attendance that he had personally destroyed that file and there was no evidence to be found there. So as you can see, he was lying then and he's lying now. And if I see that John McNeil is requesting, the town of Red Springs is requesting that the file be returned. And Ronnie Patterson and John McNeil and Wixie is running around saying that the file is it's a fake. So if it's a fake and all the information in it is fabricated, then why do they want it back so bad? Anyhow, as you can see, the SBIs came in. They went to town hall. And check. There's two more personnel, two more folders that should be there. They're missing as well on two more lawsuits that the town paid out for Ronnie Patterson. They also went to the police department up we're hearing and got some information off his computer, and then also went to his house and got two computers from his home that the SBI confiscated. So this thing is fixing to blow out the water. As you can see, Raymond Cummings, Roger Oxendine, Matt Scott. Matt Scott's going to run around. Matt's going to try to say that, you know, I didn't know about it, but he's a liar. He was in attendance that night, and now he's trying to distance himself from Ronnie Patterson. But we all know they've been campaigning together for months. Mike Smith is a huge contributor to Ronnie Patterson. So again, Mike Smith's been on the board, what, 25, 28 years? He's done absolutely nothing. The only time you see Mike Smith is come election time. That's when Mike Smith is available to the general public. Mike Smith's against buying books. Mike Smith, listen, St. Paul's Elementary, against building classrooms at St. Paul's Elementary. And Mike Smith was also against hiring a full-time police officer, resource police officer at St. Paul's Elementary. Why do you folks keep voting for Mike Smith? But Mike Smith is part of the problem. As you can see, all these folks are in here together. And see, listen, folks, they're not giving Matthew Scott and Mike Smith and John Campbell, all these. John Campbell was there that night at Raymond Cummings' house too. I forgot. All these folks, they're not giving these campaigns money so they can better the community. They're making a financial investment in their future. They're putting money in these elections so they can have a monetary profit. It's an investment for them. That's how they make their living. Did you know that all the black school board members didn't want to vote to hire our first African-American female superintendent? Then when in closed session, John Campbell voted against hiring Miss Shanita Wooten. Then when he came out in the open session, that's when he voted. And the only reason why he voted to hire Miss Wooten was because this is election year and he's running against Mr. Danny Brett. Listen, send Mike Smith home, Brenda Fairley, Miss Emanuel, Linda Emanuel. Send them home. Matt Scott, he's going to turn that DA's office into a confound, he's going to turn it into a playhouse for him and his buddies. Listen, I'm going to give you a little more hint here, and I'm going to try to upload it here tonight in just a couple hours, that we know of another police chief that settled a sexual harassment lawsuit, and he is connected. We're going to show you tonight how he's connected with the Randy Graham campaign. Just bear with me. Give me a couple hours. We're still working on some stuff, and we're gonna put it together so you folks can make a judgment call on what you want this future, what you want the future of our county to be. These folks are taking advantage of us. They're out here spreading racial dissension. They're trying to divide us using the racehorse. The racehorse is dead. He'll die, but every time he almost dies, these folks jump on him and breathe the life back into him. That's the way they keep control. Listen, got to get to the votes, get the votes to the polls Tuesday. The race is real tight. The gap's not as big as what it was at one time. Ronnie Patterson's still up just a couple hundred votes. It's come way down. Bernice is in a strong second. What we're depending on is you folks to show up Tuesday at the polls and cast your ballot, and let's take the control away from these thugs on the street and the thugs in the suits. Thank you. I appreciate you watching. Listen, share this page. It's called We the People. If you see anybody else using the title We the People, they're a liar and they're fake. We started it, and we're going to be here after this election.